Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to the Eternal Dawn channel. I am your host and captain, Straw Hat Lucas. I hope everyone out there is having a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm going to go around the table and introduce everybody, and then we'll discuss a little bit of why we're here today. First up is my first mate, the man himself, Mr. Kube of the Red Sea. Kube, how you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm excited. We're about to reveal who we believe is one of the most glorious position in every pirate crew, and I'm so excited for it. We'll be defending our stance, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm pretty pumped. Next up, the vice captain of the Eternal Dawn, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. NoChillDill. How you doing, Dill?
Speaking of legend, yo, what's up? It's your boy vexyz, the lurking legend, and we're here again for another One Piece stream. We're going to be talking about the first commander, and I'm going to drop some hot, spicy takes.
That was a good Vex impression. I'm not going to lie. I feel like he was really here with us. Next up, last but not least, good friend of mine, Mr. Joshua Victor, the musician of the Eternal Dawn. Amazing intro. Amazing intro, Josh. Josh.
Yo, guys, what's up? I'm excited for the stream. Let's go.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Josh. I'm excited. My turtles are my world.
Yeah, I think it just happened that he had to go AFK. He'll be on. He'll be back, I think.
So we will be following a very similar format to our Greatest Swordsman stream. We'll be going around one by one, spitting our takes one by one. We're going to make sure everybody has enough time to comment on each of everybody's takes. And we're going to have a good time, party people. Let's get into who is the best of the first commanders. Let's start with Mr. NoChillDill.
You would choose me to start whenever I had food in my mouth.
My bad. I'm also eating.
Yeah, I noticed. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one out of the way because I heard some slanderous takes about it earlier. And, it's got to be said. Alvida's the best first commander.
Nah. Explain how Alvida is the first commander of Cross Guild, please.
All right. So, if there's any responsibilities that Buggy does not take care of herself, we've seen Alvida step up and take care of them.
Okay. Is that the only bit of the argument?
Yeah. I was gonna say
this hot pocket is really good. I'm sorry, I had to take another bite.
So, I was gonna give you a bit of more time before I go into it on the whole Alvida thing. So go on, Brick King. Go on.
So we have all of the other original members of Buggy's pirate crew. They fit into more of the positions of like a vice captain and a first mate, as opposed to being a Yonko commander. And to me personally, like the other suitable figureheads of the new Buggy pirates, whatever they're going by outside of being called Cross Guild, are more of like affiliate vice captains, as opposed to actually being in a status of being a Yonko commander. Because you wouldn't look at Mihawk and be like, yeah, he's Yonko Commander 1 and Crocodile's Yonko Commander 2. No, to me, they are vice captains of Cross Guild. They are someone that has equally just as much weight and pull as Buggy does for the entire crew. Now, you may be thinking, yeah, well, Kabaji's on the thumbnail, so he has to be a first commander, right? No, I treat him as a first mate, which can be exclusive from being a Yonko commander.
I don't know. I feel like he's the first commander of Cross Guild. I wasn't going to go next, but now I got to bring up Kabaji. He's Buggy's first mate. He is the right-hand man of Buggy. He's an important character because he's the only one of Buggy's crew returning for the live action. So I think Kabaji is a contender for the first commander of Cross Guild.
Dude, you know what?
More so than Alvita.
What has he done for Cross Guild?
He's been there for Buggy since the beginning.
Okay, so he's been Buggy's first mate.
Yeah.
What has he done for Cross Guild?
Buggy's the Yonko, not Crossco.
Hey. Cross Guild is the crew that is the Yonko crew.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up something, and I'm gonna bring another contender. It's not my choice, but I'm just gonna bring it up because you have to think the first commander has to, be willing, like think of Katakuri, people like that, And the only person in Cross Guild that fits the bill for me is because we know that in paper everyone believes that Buggy is behind Cross Guild. For me, it's Mihawk because I don't even think Crocodile fears people as much as Mihawk. I think he's the one who thinks of first. Not saying Vice Captain first mate, definitely not. But in terms of like just the image of who people believe is the first commander, and he's also in the poster, it would make because it looks like Mihawk, both Crocodile and Mihawk are Buggy's wings. Luffy has 2 wings, Zoro and Sanji. And I feel like for me, so Mihawk might actually be seen more as a threat as a first commander, like Katakuri when they came to Whole Cake. Literally hearing that this is Katakuri, the first commander of Big Mom Pirates, the one that everyone fears. We had same thing that with King. King was so feared because he was his first commander, Kaido's first commander. Even though I do like
the difference between them and those other notable Yonko commanders that you mentioned. They weren't captains of their own group that decided to form an alliance of the groups. Because if you notice, it's not just Crocodile that joined. Mr. One also joined.
Yep. I know that.
Being on his own and lonesome, he has nobody to bring unless he would have brought the human drills. I mean, that would have been a great asset for Buggy's fighting power. But he doesn't need them because Mihawk in his own right was established as a pirate that's traveled solo.
He might have had a crew beforehand. We don't know. Like, he could have had a crew at some point and decided he didn't need them anymore.
He could have had a crew, and that could be the reason why he's known as the Marine Hunter, is because all of them were taken out by Marines, sort of reflecting what happened with Moria and Kaido, where Moria had his entire pirate crew. He went to go to Wano, lost his entire pirate crew, and then said, fuck it, I'll do it myself. Sorry, I did it at 8 minutes, Lucas.
Facts.
Yeah, like I said, I like, that's my only counter on both of them. If people really fear them as first commanders, I don't think they have.
From all of that was that Kabaji is just as feared as King. So
I'll say this: if it's
actually,
I'll say this. Wait.
Feared equally, he would be feared more because he's the first mate.
Oh.
So I'm gonna say this:
never claimed to be the first mate, just a Yonko commander and the head of the calamities.
Yeah, to give next, by the way, so whenever you want to speak your take,
I'll finish just the one thing. It says when it comes to delivery service, that was my thing. Is I do believe because it was an upgrade version of it in the delivery service, the first commander definitely was Alvida during the Buggy's delivery service because they teamed up and they start building up those kind of stuff, and I do feel like they partner up in that regards. Anyways, let me transition to my first commander. People say, well, you know what? What is a first commander? Is it just pirates? But I would answer that with an art. And I'm going to bring up my boy, my guy, the first commander of the Revolutionary Army, Sabo!
I knew Sabo was coming. I expected it to be later in the stream, but I knew he was coming.
Hold on, let's not use his dead name. Let's give him the proper respect. It's Sadibo.
Oh, I was gonna go right after the Flame Emperor, aka Sadibo. So let me explain for people why Sabo is so important. What is the role of the Rev? They're launching a war against the Celestial Dragon and the world government to bring up the status quo. They need to bring a light to everything. Not only that Sabo has helped Dressrosa, and we don't know how many countless stuff. Robin, the way she connects to him, even gave Robin pointers. Dressrosa was willing to sacrifice everything for his brother and to help the people. What he's done to the Reverie goes even further than that, because then he survives the Reverie, finds out about Imu's existence. Please don't wipe me out, Goro says. I know I named the unnameable, and then saves the people from Lelucia, and then is able to hold that lord up. I feel like as what a first commander is supposed to represent, he is feared, he is someone that you can trust, and is someone that doesn't fail his leader. That's what for me is I think he's a great first commander. And just by his revolt against the newspaper, remember the newspaper? Even though the newspaper said that he was a murderer, what happened? It motivated people to liberate their countries, meaning that they know the true Sabo. They know that was propaganda. So other nations followed Sabo in that suit.
Well, no,
This
they
is a
took
sentiment,
that
sentiment.
as fact. They saw it as Sabo did went the extra mile and took out a corrupt king. Because you have to think, the people outside of Alabasta don't know how good of a King Cobra is. They just know he's a king. So
And they
no.
So they're like, oh well, he must have been doing some wrong for a revolutionary to target him.
No, what I'm saying is more like as a revolutionary, he literally, and they said it, he brought in the flames of. I do agree, like the propaganda. The propaganda did not make people hate Sabo. It encouraged them to disown
the Flame Emperor.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Like there was a positive, even though it's a horrible act that they wrote it as. No one saw it as, oh, Sabo, this horrible person. I don't want to be like him. He embodies something, So yeah, which I think is important as a rev. So yeah, that's my guy, Sabo. I tell you, if someone's slandering Sabo.
I mean, he deserves the recognition for sure. Like for everything he's done for the Revs, he went to the Reverie and accomplished all 3 of their goals. He destroyed the food stocks. He rescued the slaves, including Kuma, and then what was the other one? I just watched the episode. He saw what up, Growth? What up, Nick?
Yeah, he saw what happened and was able to say it. Yeah. And also, don't forget, he was able to let Cobra have a peaceful way to go out. If you think about it, they were shooting at him, and he took all the hits. People say, "Oh, Sabo is weak." No, Sabo could have gone through him. It's like Ace. He willingly let himself be tangible to that the other one that doesn't get hurt.
Growth, we're not doing spoiler streams just yet. We will be bringing them back in the future very soon. But yeah, spoiler free here today at the moment. No, yeah, I agree. Like I said, I think that Sabo deserves the flowers for sure. I really think that these the way the revolutionaries act in these next few arcs is going to make or break them as a fucking group. Oh, I made it 13 minutes in before I cursed. I
made it. 1 minute. Okay. You only had 1 minute, dude.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I think it'll make or break how the world reacts to the revolutionaries in these next few arcs. Like, how many actual countries will revolt and be successful? How many of them will join the revolutionary cause? Plus, we've seen that citizens of the countries that are become revolutionized are joining the revs. Like, so yeah, I think Sabo's a good one to bring up because he is a active first commander. Like, he isn't just first commander by title. He straight up is a first commander. He knows how to lead people.
Yeah, and I like what Stock said in the chat. I'm reading the chat at the same time. Sabo pulled out the same feat as Gear 5 Luffy, which is crazy with no help in Sick Man Cobra.
Yes, sir. This is true.
True. Running from Gorsei and Emo. It's true. Egghead right now, especially with Egghead. True. I think he's like sitting at what Vegapunk couldn't.
Yeah, Sabo.
Luffy couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't. He succeeded where Luffy couldn't. He was able to, as long as possible.
Yeah, dude, Sabo's stocks are on the rise. I think we can place him as top one of the 3 mentioned so far. Actually, no, number 2 after Kabaji. I'm joking. I'm not going to carry a Kabaji agenda throughout.
Yeah, Kabaji, the Beyblader of the One Piece universe.
The Beyblader of the One Piece universe is crazy, bro, and accurate. Josh, you're up, my man. Who's your first candidate for the top commander? First commander.
Yeah, without this guy, his captain would not be even alive with the recent events in the story. I'm talking about Beppo, the vice commander of the Heart Pirates.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one. I think he's technically a first mate, but because it's Beppo, I'm going to allow him to contend. Like, that's just amazing. Like, my man...
Oda gave his answer. So there was like this crazy cover art of first commanders.
Yes.
Hero the Rain, Sabo, and Beppo are in it.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I went off of when I was making my
And
Something
also
else.
was that CBS, which asked what was the first mate or the first commander of the Harry Pirates, and he said that Hachi and Penguin wouldn't take that role because they know the true power of Sulong Beppo.
And
I mean,
plus,
dude,
like,
Sulong Beppo was crazy.
yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Sulong Beppo is just insane in general, man. Like, the way him and Law escaping from Winter Island and Law being, or Beppo being like, don't worry, no one's going to die here. Like, that's first commander behavior right there. Like, that is first commander behavior, to reassure your captain that the crew will be safe because they cannot ensure that safety at the moment. That's spicy, Beppo.
I'm gonna say something that I ever saw the episode of Beppo. I'm not saying that he's going to have Conqueror's hockey, but I think he's one of those characters who could have those Conqueror traits, but not Conqueror's hockey. When Carrot turned into a Sulong form, it was such a balanced form, right?
Yeah.
And obviously it was good, but we know Carrot's the flaws, of course. But if you look at Beppo's form, and his personality trait is closer to Carrot than the Nekomushi and Inu and Neko, right?
Yeah.
Yet his form was as bestial as them. And it was considered of strong hockey. So I do feel like Beppo might be one of those Gohan characters, Gohan before Android 16 pushes him to let go. Because he doesn't want, so that people don't get hurt. I do feel like Beppo, he has potential. Crazy potential behind it.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Beppo mirrors how Usopp will be, right? Like, all that latent potential, kind of afraid to get into a fight unless he absolutely has to. And then when he does actually show out, he shows out. Like, it's beautiful. Dill, anything on Beppo?
Good, solid Yonko commander. I wish he was already a Yonko to actually be that Yonko commander, but he is still a first commander, so we will give him that glory. I'd say the same thing as you. Like, if it wasn't for the panel that Oda had given us of the cover spread, I would definitely say that he was only first mate in title and not actually true first mate. But because he is on that with the other commanders, we have to give him that respect. But
exactly.
Yeah.
And he does keep Law having a level head after the Winter Island incident, which is a major thing of being that person that's looked up to by your captain.
Yeah, exactly. Growth, I have to correct you. It's Heart Pirates over Mid Pirates. Let's get it right. Yeah, hell yeah. That is a solid pick, Josh. I'd say, do we think Beppo's better than Sabo, though, as a first commander?
I don't think so. Sorry.
I knew you say you don't think so, but I gotta ask everybody.
I mean, what has Beppo done to put him over Sabo?
Save his own captain.
Yeah, he saved his own captain. When has Sabo ever saved Dragon? Show me the feats.
You know who hasn't needed to be saved by his first mate / Yonko commander / first commander? The man Dragon.
That is true.
Because he never left his office.
Hey, and that's actually untrue because we've seen him in other places other than his office.
I mean, I'll say this. I think the feats that Beppo has, just in Dressrosa, Sabo does it in similar ways. He's willing to jump in. He saves Rebecca from when she falls down. Yes, he doesn't help Barto because he's supposed to be a man. He helps himself. He single-handedly pushed his member when he went in front of the Marines. The other vice admiral, I think it was Basti, and Fujitora all said, Marines, stand down. You guys are not at his level. And he did not move from his position, and it let the other side, the people handle Doflamingo at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, if we go in terms of feat between Beppo and Sabo, which, again, I think Beppo is a great first commander, but if you take, an actual stuff they both done, it's not even if Sabo wasn't my guide, I didn't propose Sabo, it was said the same thing about Rayleigh. Something like that, I'm not saying Sabo is a level of Rayleigh, but it's like really comparing Rayleigh as a first commander to all the other ones. It's hard,
Yeah.
Because there's stuff in front of our eyes that, those are big arcs where they were very important. And I still feel like Beppo, we're just getting the tip of the iceberg with him. Yeah, I have big hopes for Beppo. That's why I know the hard parts are going to come back because of him.
Oh yeah, like he said, no one's going to die here today. Like, he told his captain that. And if at first mate isn't going to promise their captain that unless they know they can fucking pull it off. Unless they know they can pull it off. So I'm going to put Beppo right behind Sabo, though. And it's neck and neck for me. I think Beppo has potential to be a better first commander than Sabo is at current level. Dill, your next choice, my man.
We all knew it was going to happen at some point.
The silence? What?
I mean,
Corazon.
No,
Rosinante. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Hold on. Let's get it right here. There's other first commanders that would rank higher than Corazon because Corazon wanted to betray his brother because of the fact that he wasn't falling into the norms of society. He was wanting to go against it. No. I was given the silence because it should have been obvious that I was going to say Zoro, but nobody else picked up on that.
I figured we were saving some of the bigger ones for later, but Kube did come out swinging with Sabo, so hit it with the Zoro talk, baby.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Why are you talking about the second commander, man? I'm just kidding.
All right, so you put Jinbei over Zoro?
I do.
I put Nami over Zoro. No, I'm just kidding.
So, hey, that's why Nami's the vice captain and Zoro's the first mate. But
yeah, go on. Anyways, I'll let you go.
All right, so back on to what Lucas was saying. So this dude had a bounty that was a warlord bounty that was frozen, and even after the events of Wano, which yes, all of the information about Wano didn't get leaked to the world, Zoro ended up with a higher bounty than a former warlord. Regardless, the 9 senior officers, we can go ahead and put them in as Yonko commanders in their own right because they have put in that work and that dedication to earn that title. We see Zoro not only reflect the stances of being a first mate, we also see him reflecting the stances of being the Yonko commander, which is taking up the mantle when there is no command, when there is no Yonko, when there is no captain. Zoro is there to emulate the captain. And yes, he goes about it in his own ways, the same way that Nami goes about being the vice captain in her own ways, is she's the one of logic and reasoning for Luffy whenever he wants to go off and do dumb stuff. Zoro, on that same vein, is there to keep Luffy in line, not even the whole rest of the crew. Yeah, Zoro has his stances on what the crew does and what that means. He more so emulates what it means to hold the captain to that level of authority. Is he doesn't want the captain to go off and do stuff all based on his emotions because of the fact of, hey, if you do that, what's stopping the rest of the crew from just going out and doing their own thing because of their emotions taking over?
Mm-hmm. For me, it's very clear that without the memes around, we've been following the Straw Hat story for what? Luffy for over 1,120 plus chapters. Zoro and Nami have been with him since the 10 first chapters at least, or even the under the 10 first chapter. We know that Zoro's the first commander. I don't think there's much to defend Zoro as a great first commander. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. What do you mean there's not much to defend him as a great first commander?
No, I mean there's not much. I mean, what I mean by that is there's not much to say to discredit him as not a good first commander. I mean, the story tells for itself. Yeah, nothing happened is the best example of it. What he's willing to do for his captain as well.
You were saying, oh, we don't have enough to base him as a Yonko first commander, so I wouldn't put him up there.
No. Without the memes aside, I mean, it's been very legit. He basically, at the time, and it makes sense, Luffy came to him when he had nothing. And he was already on to him, I'll get you out. But I wanted to become a... Then when he saw the type of person, listen, as long as we live our dreams, we live on our dreams, I will always be there for you. And Luffy has that broken that promise. Because Zoro has never left his loyalty towards Luffy. Like, the best example is, I'll give this, Zoro is a very honorable person, right? He wanted to fight Mihawk whatsoever. Because of wanting to be better for Luffy, he was willing to grovel at the feet of Mihawk to get stronger for his captain. That's putting pride aside, you know. I don't think Vegeta can do that. He couldn't even let people have a low level punching machine. He had to destroy it. I know it's a different content, but you know, gotta bring it up for Zoro. Yeah. Yeah, 17. So
Yeah, I mean, what can I say other than he's a good vice captain to Luffy.
Oh, you think he's the vice captain?
Guys, I was unmuted on Discord, but not on stream. I'm so sorry, stream. I just went on a huge. I just had a huge monologue about Zoro and how he's a perfect first mate, how he is a father figure to Chopper, like Rayleigh was a father figure to Buggy and Shanks. What up? Shout out John Trot on all social medias and chat. But I do think that, like Kube had said, there's not really an argument against Zoro being one of the best first mates in the series, because, as I said during that whole spiel I did when you guys couldn't hear me, Zoro is the first mate. He is the main first mate that we are following in the story. But yeah, our first commander, my bad. Go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry. I didn't. that threw me off so bad.
I mean, yeah, that's it. He's a good first mate.
Yeah, I'll bring up something as well, and this is why I'll say this, because if you take everything that's in the story as a first commander, even Rayleigh would be put to the side next to Zoro. So I do feel like Zoro he's automatically the best first commander, but he cannot be ranked with the others, because I think there's just too much. There's literally over 1,000 of chapters of information with Zoro. You know, we see him as a first commander.
Yeah.
So that's what for me is. I think naturally he always be number one to all of them, because
I think
we just have so much. We have so much of him.
So let's put Zoro at the top, but I have to say Cube too. Like, I think you said the point that you brought up was perfect. That is exactly what puts him above Sabo and above Beppo, in my opinion, is that he went to his enemy, the man he's been hunting his entire life, and said, I'm going to put that shit aside. Train me so I can be the man that can help Luffy become king of the pirates. And then we saw him in Wano straight, not really denounce his dream, but he said, you know, you have the colors of a conqueror, and Zoro said that doesn't matter because I have to help my best friend and captain achieve his dream. Yeah. Like it's also, top one. And also for me and I've always said that is Sabo is not being prepped up to become the best first commander. He's being prepped up to lead, to be a leader, not to be a first commander. Yeah. While Zoro, he only cares to be the best swordsman for being the best first commander for Luffy. His best right-hand man. Like Zoro, it has no ambition. We know in the story one ambition where he'll become the new Luffy. You know what I mean? Become the head of the Straw Hats. It's not in his ambition. What we know with Oda, he's hinting to that. Sabo is supposed to take the mantle from Dragon. So it's also a different type of first commander. That's why I said for me, Zoro will be number one, because he'll be the example of a first commander in the story. That's why he chose him to be Luffy's first commander, because Luffy's represent the best pirate king we'll ever get in the story. JJ in the chat, I see you say, do we think how Zoro spoke on Luffy while leaving Egghead somehow tarnished his appeal as first mate? When I did my whole speech that the chat couldn't hear because I forgot to unmute myself on stream, I mentioned that our homie Kusaland was talking about like the way he said it in Japanese. It's more about his code of Bushido and not about like telling Luffy he's pathetic. It's more of a like he shouldn't be showing these emotions as a man because he is a Yonko now, and not why is he showing emotions kind of thing.
And I also bring up the point, and I've said this, even I'm not an English speaker, but just I've learned and I'm pretty good at that. The one thing that they changed in the official is they put 3 points to the speech of Jinbei, and then Zoro ended it with 3-word sentence, where this is pathetic, which I've always said. It feels for me that in that statement, he was saying what Jinbei and Frankie were saying, that they couldn't save and they couldn't deal with the Gorosei.
Yeah,
which he was said this is
like
pathetic.
Yeah.
It was separate. I think that the pathetic wasn't to Luffy, but to everyone. And then he holding on Luffy saying he shouldn't cry over an old geezer because of what they went through. He's a young, meaning that he should, be able to control his emotions. We'll just get better. We'll get stronger.
Exactly.
So I don't think it tarnishes his character.
Yeah, I think it was him being, as we're here to discuss, a first commander and telling the crew what they were too afraid to say and what needed to be said.
Yeah, man.
Who is next? Dill, you brought a freaking spicy one. Only 30 minutes in and we just cooked so much on Zoro.
I think it's you because I brought on Sabo. Beppo was Josh.
If we're bringing out heat that early, I've got to bring out the man, the first commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, Marco. Marco the Phoenix. Amazing first commander. Served with Whitebeard his entire life. Saw Whitebeard as his legitimate father. Stormed Marineford to save Ace. Didn't even hesitate to throw down with admirals the entire time. Like, Marco is him. He is a contender for top 1 over Zoro, in my opinion. Because we have feats of his. We've seen his resolve. We've seen what he would do for his captain as well.
There is something also, this is for future events, but I'm telling you this. I've been saying it. That's also I want to give props. It hasn't happened yet, but it's an Eternal Dawn prediction. I've said this. The first time we were introduced to Marco and Jozo and Visa, we saw them meeting Luffy. They were helping save Whitebeard's son, which happened to be Luffy's brother. And the last thing we saw is Bakken looked at Weevil and she was trying to convince Marco, he is his son. Think about it. And I've said that Marco might not even consider blood relation as that important. But if he is convinced, what if Marco pulls up with the remaining Whitebeard pirates, doing a parallel to it is they're going to save the next Whitebeard son, Weevil. One not recognized, one being recognized. Whitebeard recognized Ace, Whitebeard never recognized Weevil. So that's why I give props that there are going to be stuff with Marco. So, and he's now sacrificing the rest of his life to protect the homeland of his father.
Not only, see, exactly, man. He's sacrificing the rest of his life to, you're right, man. But with what Nax said in chat, even more, he's the one that passed the torch on to Zoro and Sanji. The stars have arrived, as he said in Wano. I don't care what Toy put in the anime, okay? I know he said only the star to imply it was only Zoro he was talking about. It doesn't matter. In the manga, he says stars to hint at Zoro and Sanji, because Sanji is a wing of the Pirate King. Oh my goodness, I got off on that tangent too much now. I forgot what I was going to say. Marco is such a good first commander that another Yonko continuously asked him to join his crew, which is Shanks. Shanks has asked Marco 2 times canonically that we've seen, at least, if not more. You know what I mean? Join my crew.
Yeah.
That's how good of a first commander is.
Pulled up onto the Whitebeard ship and said, "Hey, yoy! Marco, I remember you. Come join my crew."
Yeah, come join my crew. Marco is him.
Straight up in front of Whitebeard, in front of all of his other commanders, and he just straight up said, "Yo, I remember you. You're pretty cool. Come here. Come join my side."
Oh, and Marco can stand up against Shanks Hockey. Did not knock him out.
Correct. Well, not even that, because we could already assume that he was on that level because of the fact that him and Jozu were the ones of warning. It's that he didn't feel any sense of unease.
Yeah, Marco did make the sentiment.
There was no change in his facial, his not facial structure, but what's the word am I trying to look for?
He was stoic. Basically, they didn't change. They were
he was
unfazed.
stoic. Yeah,
Yeah, there was no anger on his face, right?
stoic. His
And I think-
emotion on his face didn't change at all. It was just hey, you guys should be prepared. Go to lower deck. People with weak wills can't handle being around that man. And then immediately in the next few seconds, we see him with that same expression, watching all of the other crew members pass out.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
don't forget remember, don't forget what Joseph says in the anime. They didn't put it in the manga. It is in the official. He talked about don't even try to think of the you could take him on, meaning that it's also
your hostile thoughts against them.
Yeah, it was not like Shanks was purposely targeting all those people. It was more like he felt intent, so they got hit by it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's a special type of first commander to become towards another Yonko,
Yeah, exactly. I just realized that Conqueror's Haki is kind of like when you walk up and meet somebody for the first time with your buddy, and like you get a bad vibe from them, but your friend is friends with them, and it's like a whole different vibe with them. That's exactly what Conqueror's Haki is. Like, if you have the smallest bit of suspicion or ill intent, you're gonna get affected by it. Like,
it's like
they're cut and dry. It's aura. It's aura.
So I'm going to give a real life analogy in this situation. It's basically you are meeting UFC fighters, like the ones who are just willing to fight with anyone, but you're entering the room with Joe Rogan. You're so relaxed. Okay, it's good. They're not going to touch me. They're not going to touch me.
As I said in the chat, to become first mate of the Eternal Dawn, you have to join the crew, then you have to beat Kube in an Are You Ready match. And as his captain, I can say, not even I have beaten Kube in an Are You Ready match.
Well, let's see how this goes. Are you
ready? But if you are you ready? And also, if you lose against me, you have to change your name on all social media when One Piece content into JJ the Midman.
No,
JJ hashtag bottom man supporter is what it has to be.
The slander is real. Josh, do you have anything to say on Marco before we move on to Kube's next pick?
Yeah, I mean, he had an amazing performance in one. Like, also he clashed with Big Mom. No, I mentioned that.
Yeah. And Rayleigh, Prime Rayleigh, even though it was with one finger, he still clashed with it.
That's what I was going to bring up. Yeah, he clashed with the Yonko. He also held off 2 calamities at the same time. Which are
guys.
Yonko Commander 1 and Yonko Commander 2 of the Beast Pirates.
Yep.
He held them off.
Until Sanji and Zoro could get there. That's true.
Okay, you want to hear something crazy as well?
Really and I think Marco above Zoro right now?
Yeah.
Definitely not.
I mean, in terms of what we've seen versus potential, yes, because Marco's already at the end stages.
That's 3-1, Kube.
Marco's already at the end stages of his journey, which is why I believe he chose not to ally and to join the Red Hair Pirates, is because he knows, hey, if nobody else is here to protect Sphinx Island, it's going to get raided. And what happened whenever he got back, because no one was there to protect it, it got raided.
He has to keep his promise to Pops and Luffy. Whitebeard's last wish was to keep Luffy safe.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, he could.
You know what I mean?
He could do that from being a part of the Red Hair Pirates, and in fact, it would give more credence to the Red Hair Pirates showing up to the Straw Hats.
Yeah, but if he was part of the Red Hair Pirates, all his captain would have to say is, "You could not help Straw Hat Luffy," and then you can't. You know what I mean? So like it, because Shanks wants Luffy to get to that point on his own. Like he would want Marco not to help him, in my opinion.
I think Marco is if we take out Zoro, like Zoro's a 0 rank right now of all of them. I think Marco, and with the Sabo rank, we said Sabo would definitely be in the top 3. I think Marco is definitely in the top 3. Mm-hmm. Definitely. I had 2 other candidates. I'll go with my most important candidate because I think he'll take the number 1 spot. Okay, guys, I want everyone to sit down. We were kidding around right now. Zoro was an important pick. Sabo was an important pick. But now we're going to talk about the guy. Think about this, right? Why are we reading the story? Because of Goldie Roger. but who is holding down his dream? Who trained the person who inherited Roger's will? Who was the one who saw Blackbeard and the Marines in Amazon Lily? Who was the one who stopped Kizaru in Sabaody? Who was the one who trained Luffy? Went much further. It's him, the myth, the legend, the Dark King himself, Silvers Rayleigh, father of Mihawk. Sorry, I had to do it. I mean, there's not much to say. I mean, guys, he's the first commit, and he's keeping that plan of Roger, whatever they found on Laughtale, alive. And I still believe that. I don't believe he was just this whole slave stuff 2 years ago was because he was, he didn't have any money. I'm telling you, with the stuff that we found out about Hancock, he's helping people who are being captured. Acting like he has no more money, but actually trying to free people. So yeah, that's my pick.
Silvers Rayleigh.
Yeah, dude, come on.
The Dark King. I mean, yeah, the Dark King himself. Like you said it best, man. Train the next king of the pirates. Like, ugh.
And I'll say this. Sabo's my guy. He's my favorite first commander. Rayleigh's over Sabo.
And Marco's over Rayleigh. I get it.
Yeah, dude, calm down.
I wouldn't go that.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, so yeah, I think honestly, if for me it's that important. I think it's like if Luffy failed, but he has a plan for 20 years, Zoro would have done the same thing. So that's why I think for me, that's why I feel like Zoro is so great because we're seeing Rayleigh's stories through Zoro in a certain way. Not the same story, but the level he's willing to do for his captain.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think Zoro will match that same Rayleigh energy. And then when Luffy finally gets executed at the end of the story and he's like, I left all of my treasure in one place. Zoro knows where it is. Everyone will never find it. It'll be perfect. perfect cycle.
I mean, so let's get into that because let's divulge a little bit. So I believe by the end of the story, Zoro will actually know the path because of the Buddhist. Like that I saw a thread the other day and it perfectly summed it up because Zoro's been on the path of the Buddhist this entire time. That's why he's been lost, is because he's been searching for the right thing, but it's always at the wrong times for what the crew needs. So he's on the path of enlightenment, whereas the crew is on the true path.
Yeah, see, I think that's right. I think that Zoro will find that enlightenment. We got back to talk about Zoro. But I think he'll find that enlightenment. I think he'll end up like Isho, you know what I mean? Very peaceful, very calm, only using violence when necessary.
And also, if you look at Zoro's techniques, they are based on the six path, except the one of enlightenment, the path of gods.
No, yeah, true.
True.
I mean,
big facts.
You guys want to know one of an old fear of Zoro back in the day?
Yeah, hit me with it.
They said Zoro doesn't get lost. Basically, he's such a great first. He's a greater first right-hand man to Luffy that he's naturally locked into Laughtale without even knowing. So he's actually running towards Laughtale, the direction to Laughtale. But no one follows him because he always gets lost, so they don't trust him. Which would be funny. He's basically the Zunisha of Laughtale.
I was gonna say, if that turns out to be true, I will lose my collective mind. I don't think any of us have anything to say about Rayleigh because he's just so easy. That's the top pick, right? That's number one.
We went back to talking about Zoro.
We went right back to talking about Zoro. Zoro's gonna be the man marked by blades and being lost. Well, that got me, I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, no, I think we can safely all agree Rayleigh goes to 1.
Yeah.
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 And then Marco, and then Zoro. I'm telling you guys, Zoro, Marco, he's in there.
Zoro is, for me, Zoro is 0 because it's very hard to. I mean, only Rayleigh he can surpass. Then he'll beat everyone else. So I think Zoro should put to 0 because or else everyone is below Zoro in my eyes, other than Rayleigh.
Yeah, maybe that's it, Will. Maybe Zoro's just trying to go to Lodestar. He's not lost. He's going to Lodestar. Josh, you are next.
Yeah, what is what one thing? We know that Zoro is like a magnet for booze and sake. Like this has to the idea of the One Piece is sake.
Oh, dude, and I think that liquid iron ore comes from Lodestar or liquor iron ore. Like, so what if his natural like trait towards booze is also towards that liquor iron ore? Like, ooh.
I mean, listen, I have a bit headcanon, even though if you people are calling Shiro the Rain versus Zoro, I've always said that the best matchup is Vasco Shot versus Zoro. He's been training for that fight.
Yeah, drinking.
Yeah. In Whiskey Peak, the whole thing was he drank so much that he has such a high tolerance, similar to Nami.
Mm-hmm.
Remember? So I do feel like one of the two are going to face Vasco Shots. Like it feels like it's a devil made for them to face off. I'm sorry.
Josh, your next
who's your pick?
Yeah. I mean, this next pick was inevitable. Like, to be the right-hand man of such a great man and to be willing to take a step back to let the next generation shine in the current events of the story. I couldn't not bring Bogard, the right-hand man of the Garb the Fist.
Bogard!
That's a good one.
He's bringing Bogard in. Okay. Specific reasonings?
Yeah. He's the man who we know from the anime that he mainly trained Kube and Helmeppo, and also who else would teach Helmeppo the way of using weapons? We know that he was in the raid of Achinoso, and he didn't do anything. He let the next generation handle anything.
Yeah, this is true. And I think you guys know I'm a firm believer, not to get right back to Zoro, but that Helmeppo will be Zoro's end of series matchup. So
yeah.
If he's the one who trained him, then
what I like about Bogart as well is that he's not a man of many words, almost no words, just action. Very few action, but still some action compared to the words. I had to do the memes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course. What is this poll that just got created?
Huh?
Deal.
Dill, you're already the vice captain.
Yeah, I want to be the first mate too.
This does not hold any standing in the ranks of the Eternal Dawn. The game was rigged from the start.
I already told you. I already told you, Dill. If you have a problem with me being first mate, just pull up, man. Every time you say, "No, I'm happy you're first mate."
I'm already a part of the "Are you ready for it?" challenge.
Dude, come on.
He said, "Come on."
You take me seriously. It's like me saying, "Zoro, I'm gonna challenge you to a drinking match." Come on, man. Take me seriously. Fight us at your level.
That's yet another contest that you would lose. So, are you ready?
He won the last contest. What are you talking about?
I am. Are you ready? That's a question. Are you ready? Dude, I feel
no. Hold on. Let's get something real from the start, Lucas. Are you ready for this? He did not win the last contest. He simply knew more outlandish knowledge for the 4th bonus tier than any of the rest of us.
Cube only got one bonus question right.
No, dude, it's because
bro it's also like a Pokemon question. Bro forgot about the Jackie Chan Adventures question.
And I got it back. Yeah, like that was the one thing I got. And also it's because I told you guys, I just got lucky because some of the questions came back and some of it didn't do it. And then there was that question about the 3 islands. And the only one I knew, it was the one they answered, but you gave the other one. So I was able to give the last one. Like I said, I was just very lucky on the questions you got. I just got lucky at one point. It's like anyone could have won that. It could have been you, me, or even Dexter. It happened to be me. I'll say that it's all luck.
It was all luck.
I'll say I don't have an ego enough to say, I trained for it. No, I didn't trade for
Let's
that.
also
Definitely.
bring up the fact that I wasn't able to answer some of the bonus questions because Lucas had told me them before, a
This is
week
true.
before,
Yeah.
prior to that.
There was two that he was not allowed to speak on at all.
Yeah.
And it was the Malcolm in the Middle question and the Jackie Chan Adventures question.
Back on topic.
Oh yeah, Kube
Bogard.
also got the Malcolm in the Middle question. What?
I gave him
Dude,
25 points for getting a partial, he was close to it.
All right,
Because
let's just do the French translation. But
nonetheless, Bogard, where are we placing him, guys?
yeah, dude,
I don't
he's
know.
not
We
gonna be
haven't seen enough of him of being a commander. You know, he's just kind of like Dark Shadow Hokage. You know.
This is true. So, question mark for Bogard.
I mean, we cannot put him in top 3, that's for sure. There's not enough stuff.
Ooh, Michael,
I don't
we
think
haven't
it's
even got to Ben Beckman yet.
Or Frog.
Or Katakuri.
Ooh, yeah. And we still have...
Or King.
Good thing we have an hour left on stream then. Let's go! Who is next? I think we're back to top of the round, aren't we? So Bogard, I'm going to say question mark, because I think once God Valley happens, we'll all know the truth of Bogard, of live action Bogard. Dill, who's your next pick?
You know who my favorite first commander in One Piece is?
That's why we're doing this stream. So I had to
It
do
has to be the one, the only, the first mate, and first commander. NoChillDill. No, I'm kidding. So
no chill the Illis.
yeah, man. So if you guys have seen Group 2 as we solo, you would know that I am the first mate of the Scarlet Pirates.
This is true. And Group 2 does solo, that is also true. No, so who's your choice? Is it actually NoChillDill? Because I'll go to bat for this right now.
Oh no, I can have an entire stream dedicated to why that's true. No, I you know, in terms of just actually being there for their captain, whether they're right or wrong in any situation, I have to go to bat for King. Because he straight up Kaido admitted to King that he was not Joy Boy, even though that entirely went against what King thought of Kaido as, which was Joy Boy. Yeah. Once Kaido told him, hey, I'm not Joy Boy, but I know who is. He'll be the man to defeat me. King straight up looked at him and said, oh, then I guess you'll never be defeated. Because in his eyes, even though Kaido just told him, I'm not Joy Boy, King still thought of him as Joy Boy because of the fact that Kaido liberated King from his moment of suffering.
Yep. King also laid all of his ambitions aside to follow Kaido.
Exactly. The same thing we've seen from Zoro for Luffy, where he went up to Mihawk and said, hey, I'm not strong enough to fight you. I need you to train me so I can protect my captain, so that way later on down the line, after he's done with his dream, I can fulfill my dream of taking you out.
Exactly. Yeah, King's a very solid choice, especially for, like, even though Kaido was wrong in his ambitions, King didn't see it that way. Like you said, he saw him as Joy Boy. Like, this was Joy Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, King's up there for me as well. Kube, Josh, any thoughts on King?
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't put him at the same standard as Zoro because he still doesn't have a dream of his own. Like Zoro put his, he is the first commander also follows his own ambition.
Wait, what was King's ambition? Did they say?
No. King's ambition was finding Joy Boy.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Yeah. He didn't really have a personal ambition, like, you know.
He
basically
didn't put it to the side because he had blind and utmost faith that Kaido was Joy Boy, regardless of what Kaido himself told King. So it wasn't that he put his ambition on hold. It was that he didn't see that Kaido was dismissing himself as Joy Boy. But King still looked up to him as if he was Joy Boy.
Yeah, I would say this. I feel like King and Katakuri are opposite first commander. Katakuri is there for the crew and not strictly for the captain. Like, it will not sacrifice anything, while King is mostly there for the captain, Kaido.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Big facts. Where would you guys put him on the list so far that we've come up with? King's ambition to be a Gimp is a wild, Will. Holy shit.
I would say third.
Really?
Just behind Luffy, or just behind Zoro, because we've, like I brought up, we've seen both of them lay down to support their captain as opposed to their dream. But it's not in a sense that King fully laid down his ambition, because his ambition was to find and to follow Joy Boy.
Yeah, he felt he found his ambition. Yeah.
Even up until King's defeat, when he had the flashes of him being told, hey, this might happen one day of me being defeated. And King still, in his defeat, still acknowledged Kaido as his Joy Boy.
Yeah.
So the reason why I cannot put him over Beppo and Sabo or anyone else at first commander is, and I'll still say that compared to, he's a bit like Katakuri. They're hiding a part of themselves. Katakuri was hiding him physically, but also King, think about it. He was hiding who he really was, not acting on his own free will. And the moment he was found out that he was a Lunarian, he started killing his own crew members. And I do feel like this is still a negative as a first commander. Because of that.
I can agree with that.
That's why I would not. I would put it
once they found out that he was laying down.
Yeah, again, it's like. Sorry? I mean, still, he's the first commander. Like,
Katakuri was attacking his own people once they found out that he laid down.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying both Katakuri and King in that regards have that thing where they put some of their own free will on the side. Like Katakuri is like hiding a part of himself, King as well. I'm just saying different ways. Katakuri was actually a physical thing. King was just hiding what he is.
Yeah, I think that would hurt Katakuri in these discussions as well, which I'm sure he'll be brought up at some point. But I do have to agree with that, like, because Zoro, I would never see him attacking another Straw Hat, even if they found out like the deepest, darkest secret of his life. Like, I do not see Zoro going out of his way to harm a Straw Hat. But
and
Katakuri
the one thing I'll say
would, and so would King. I mean, we've seen it. We saw it in the manga. King straight killed 2 dudes because they were going to turn him in. Which, fair enough.
Well, they just saw him. They just saw him.
We don't have the confirmation that they were going to turn him in. The only confirmation we have is that they said, "Oh my God, he must be of the elusive race that the world government was looking for," and that was enough to set King off. And he's like, "You know what? I can't have it," because he has those traumatic experiences, which yes, we didn't see. We can only imply the fact that people turned him into the world government because he was a Lunarian in his childhood, which is why he harbors those ill intentions towards people that want to expose him, is because he doesn't want to get subjected to that again.
Yeah. I'll also say this. I'm just going to say a side note. This is one of the most... That's why I say some people One Piece have weird logic. After all those years, those 20 years, you did not wonder why King, you never saw his face, but he can create fire and has black wings. I mean, at one point, someone should question, wait, isn't that the Lunarian race that I've heard about a long time ago? Because the moment they saw him, they knew about it, the race. Not like they forgot about it. They knew about this elusive race. It's like, dude, if that's what you need to just see his face, the fire and the wings did not push you to that.
Yeah, that is actually kind of odd. Like, I feel like as soon as you see the fire and the wings, you'll be like, yeah, that's a Lunarian.
I mean... When they describe what the government was after, was dark skin and white hair and black wings. It wasn't about the fire.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I mean, Also, via the same relation of Zoro having the entire fight with King, finding out about his identity and all that, it still took him looking at the Seraphim for almost a minute and a half in combat, mind you, which, as we know, is a lot slower than it actually seems because you're able to fully anticipate what your opponent's going to do. So you're studying them as they're coming at you. It still took him that long to say, hey, wait a minute, I've seen this before. So it lends to me in my head of, hey, even if you heard that the world government has a bounty on Lunarians and you see what a Lunarian looks like from the picture, if you're looking at someone, it can still take a minute for you to be like, hey, wait a minute. The only objection we have to that is Blackbeard, who instantly knew the traits that he was looking at as he saw them. He's like, hey, whoa, hold on. What are you?
Yeah.
And then immediately related it to Lunarians.
Mm-hmm. Also, Dill, to give you an analogy, the best thing is someone once told me 30 seconds in anime time is basically in real life how long it takes for a woman to have pregnant to give birth.
9 months.
I thought you were gonna go an entirely different route with that. You know?
Same. I'm not gonna lie.
So I was memeing on the fact that in D&D combat time, each round is 6 seconds. So in order to have a minute, you have to go through 10 rounds of combat.
Mm-hmm.
Oof, that's crazy.
It is. It's wild. D&D time.
It is insane, especially whenever at least 75% of your campaign has been combat. Not saying I hate anything about it because fighting is always fun, and we do still get those crew interactions. We've spent more time in campaign, in combat, but we've spent more time in the real world outside of combat just because of it goes by a lot faster. You can have a crew interaction outside of combat. It takes 5 minutes, even though you're talking for a minute and a half. But inside of combat, you can talk for 5 to 10 minutes, and it's all in the same 6 seconds.
Yes, sir. I would have to say, just get us back on topic, but D&D, D&D, that timeline-wise is wild. Anyway, with King, I think that he has to go below Sabo and Beppo, in my opinion. Not because of strength or anything like that, just his actions as a first commander.
Roll. If it's obviously if it's feats, I'm sorry. Yeah, of course. There's some crazy stuff he's done, so it's not about feat because I do think that he has them in spades, his feats.
Yo, shout out Andy Lex. I think I am next, and I have to do this for JJ. He brought it up in the chat, and I was just defending this man somewhat the other day. And it is Treble.
No.
Nah, dude, listen, hear me out. No one has invested more into their captain than Treble. He knew that Doflamingo was important. He knew that Doflamingo was going to be a conqueror. He saw the potential. My man put in the time and the work. So,
remember, I'm going to say something. Doflamingo wanted his brother at the beginning to be together with him, or at least when he was very young. You know, they separated. The only person that he gave the role, that's why I'm counting Treble as first commander of Doflamingo. The only person he gave him the same role as his brother had was Virgo. And he actually, if you look at it, he really felt to the point that he was crushed when Virgo was taken out. Like, he was infuriated.
Yeah.
Like, look what he tried. He tried to kill a vice admiral because of it. So that's why I'm counting Treble by saying Virgo was his first commander. Sorry, I had to.
I mean, Treble was his right-hand man. The only person that Treble asked, but when he said, "You're too close to me," and said, "But I like it," was Doflamingo.
Yeah, true.
Josh, you seemed very adamantly against my choice of Treble.
I mean, no like Trevor isn't a good candidate, but like Doflamingo is more like he has 4 commanders and he sees them all equally. This I see it.
Yeah, points against Trouble too because he kidnaps children. That's not a cool look. Where we put him on the list? I mean, I know what list he should be on, but like, where we put him on our list?
I think from all of them, he's the lowest point, but not because of feats, but just as a first commander.
But above Alvida and Kabaji.
Oh, definitely above Kabaji, that's for sure. Because don't forget, as a first commander, like we talked about all the for their captains, Cabral did drop the biggest blunder of them all right now. Because think about it, his job was to make sure that Sugar never falls asleep. It was his job as one of the commanders. Failed that role.
Is true.
If you think at all of the, he failed
flawlessly. Yeah.
And then he had to keep. I mean, just on paper, like with all the other first commanders, they are willing to die for everything.
Ooh, that said,
Treble,
though,
like
as soon as Sugar fell asleep, Treble came in clutch, dude. Like he started to go on the offensive. Like he knew the assignment. If she falls asleep, kill whoever did it. He didn't succeed. I know, but he did go on the offensive, which is a sign of a good first commander. But I do agree his place is low.
Yeah.
Next up is Kube.
Okay, so I know other people are going to bring him up. Since I already brought up Rayleigh, I'm going to bring up my other guy. So this guy, he doesn't to be placed very high. And you would say, is he really a first commander? Because it's a weird organization. But I'll say that because I think that they follow the themes of captain and first commander. And even though the person was a Shishibukai, makes it that it fits the theme. I'm going with Das Bones from Borkworks, Mr. 1.
Yeah, I think he's on the color spread.
Yeah, and for me, Mr. 1, why it makes sense?
No. Oh, no, he's not.
No, so he was obviously the head of, other than, he was the number one, like, for me, he was the first commander and like the strongest enforcer. Obviously, Robin was more of a first made vice captain in that organization. But what I like is he had all the traits of a first commander. Loyalty to, if you follow the cover stories, he's the only one, because Crocodile did not want to leave prison. He stayed in prison. Then when Impel Down happened, he was willing to help him. And then he was in Marineford. Crocodile told him we need to do this kind of stuff. He said, sure, no problem. Did his job, did not betray or anything like Crocodile. He stayed focused because Crocodile told him, we are going to stop this war. So he helped out. And then at the end of the war, not only that Crocodile tells him, I've got a plan. You want to follow me or do your own thing? I'll follow you. Then I'll say this, in terms of loyalty, as a first commander, everywhere else in first commander is a bit low with Mr. 1, but I feel like his loyalty is in par with people like Rayleigh, Zoro, Sabo to their leaders.
I can agree with that. Yeah, he takes what Crocodile says completely serious. Like every command from Crocodile is word to him. And he's not afraid to do the dirty work for Crocodile. And like you said, he stomped into Marineford all because Crocodile told him to. No one who isn't loyal is going to do that.
Yeah, and even think about it, declaring, even though they disappeared, they returned by doing what? Attacking Marines who were going after the former Shishibukai. No questions asked.
No questions
and now he's setting it up with Cross Guild. And he's literally, if you look at it in Cross Guild, when they show all the Cross Guild members, Mr. 1 there was Buggy, Crocodile, and Mihawk, and right next to them, not sitting, standing up, was Mr. 1. So that he's always loyal to Crocodile, even though close by. So yeah. Das Bones.
Das Bones. Josh, what do you think? Mr. 1? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good pick.
He also taught Zoro a valuable lesson in swordsmanship.
I mean, Zoro mostly discovered that on his own.
Yeah, it was that pushed him to that. Where are we putting him on the list?
I think he should be. I mean, I think it's the same thing as the other possible Cross Guild commanders.
Yeah, he's down at the bottom.
Baroque works and Cross Guild. Yeah, like, because I'm sorry, like Beppo. I've always said Beppo is still on the top, but they should be after Beppo. If Beppo is in the top 5 or something like that, then they should be after Beppo. Because the feats are different. Then there are more feats from other first commanders are much better than Mr. 1.
Yeah, I agree on that. So I would say, yeah, I almost want to put no. His loyalty's not anywhere close to King's. I was going to put him above King for the meme, but I don't think that's right. Josh, you are next.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring up D&D, I'm gonna bring up Kiryu from Group 14.
We're not bringing up D&D characters.
I mean, generally,
yeah, I could bring up V, who is we're Shichibukai, so like, I'm an actual first commander. Like,
do you want to see that Kiryu isn't the first commander?
I mean, he's the first mate. But no, I'm surprised you haven't brought up Katakuri yet, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up Katakuri.
Yeah, I was gonna say Katakuri, but since I know you like him as well, I said, I'll put Mr. One. Maybe Josh will say it. So, let's go, bro.
Like, yeah, for Katakuri, he's the main
Smokey,
big
you're
up.
killing me. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he was the main obstacle when it come to this Bianco saga. Like, we went into the territory of Bianco. We first faced their commanders. The third commander that gave Luffy a trouble, he had to get help, and then he had a 11-hour fight with Katakuri just to barely win.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he was
seceded to Luffy. Like, I agree that entirely. Like, so that kind of brings in Katakuri's loyalty. This brings up what Kube said earlier about him, is that he's not really loyal to Big Mom as much as he is loyal to his siblings and wanting to make sure that they're safe. Like, because he forfeited to Luffy because Luffy said he would come back and take down Big Mom.
But I think it's more than that, and that's what I really liked about that. There was a thought that at the time someone said, you know how Katakuri saw something in the future? So what if he saw a moment where basically, because of Big Mom, Big Mom put the risk on all the crew, and basically he sees a moment where basically Big Mom fails, and the one who saves the crew, the moment of saving the crew, is Luffy, putting himself between the Big Mom pirates. Think about it. And everything about Katakuri is about his family. He doesn't care about himself. And Big Mom is not a big emphasis, but he's always thinking about his siblings. So I wonder if that's also the reason why it's not that he defeated Big Mom. It's not only he defeated Big Mom, but he saw him save his family. That would make him let him go. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's an ally, not an enemy.
I think that too. It's pretty prevalent that, like, I said it before, during Fishman Island, Luffy promised Big Mom he was going to kick her ass, and then Katakuri also said, "Will you come back and feed Big Mom?" Big Mom's not done in the story. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't show up on Elbeth, like, entirely. That's Deuce, baby.
I'm telling you, Big Mom is all in.
She's all in. Oh my god! Yeah, it's like Vex is here for real.
It's your boy Vexyz, the lurking legend here once again.
Dill, what do you got to say about Katakuri, brother?
So I do put him in the top as far as like we had stated earlier. It's not so much as loyalty to the crew, or not so much as loyalty to the captain, but more so loyalty to the crew, is because they are his actual family members. So regardless of what happens with the captain of the crew, he is still there for his family members. So he's not a first commander in the sense that he's there to back up the captain. He's there as a first commander to make sure that the crew is safe, which is also another responsibility of a first commander, because if there is no crew, there is nothing. Like, it's just you and the captain at that point. Y'all are just sailing around together. Guys, bones and crocodile. So we can look at it from the aspect of him actually being the first commander in essence, rather than him being just a figurehead of the Big Mom Pirates.
I have an analogy, and I would like to hear, especially since Josh is a big Sanji fan and Dill's is a big Zoro fan. It kind of makes you think of, so Katakuri is Zoro if he took the role of Sanji. Like when Zoro and Luffy goes ahead, who is the one making sure the crew will have a wing always to protect them? So like Luffy and Zoro don't have to worry about the weaker members of the crew. It kind of makes you think of that with Katakuri.
Exactly.
a Zoro-like character who stays behind, who doesn't go forward with the captain. Instead, he stays behind because he knows his crew would not be able to defend themselves. He's like the alpha pack, the alpha wolf from a wolf pack. Who, most of them, the alphas, they always stand behind because their job is not to lead, is to protect the weaker, the pack. So they will walk the last. So if someone gets attacked first, they would be the one, and if something happens, they can see everything. Katakuri never leaves his island as well.
Katakuri also has to basically take 2 roles because of Pudding not really having something to do. Like Pudding does whatever Big Mom tells her to do.
Yeah. And Big Mom doesn't really also care. Think about it. She declares war right and left like that. She doesn't care about her family.
Yeah, Katakuri basically runs anything.
No, man.
So, Cube, I would say yes and no to your comparison. Wait, hold on, let me say it right. No. To your comparison, because we do have those instances in which Zoro is there to protect the crew, but to me, the way that I see it is Zoro gets ahead of protecting the crew by making sure that the enemy is taken out first. Because
I agree.
if King hadn't been distracted, who else on the Straw Hats crew would have been able to take out King?
Yeah, no. When I say about that is that basically it's a tag team thing. It's a partnership with Sanji and Zoro. Zoro can go fight with King to stop him because he might go to the crew, but he could do it gladly because he knows Sanji. Well, Jinbei now, but he knows that Sanji is holding the fort. He'll never stress to go backwards. He won't be scared that Chopper might be alone. He said, "No, it's okay. Sanji will just take care of it."
Yeah, and also
I agree. I agree with you, Dill, because that was my take. That Zoro can be relaxed but he could do it as well. But he doesn't have to do it because Sanji is there.
Yeah, is because there's other people that are able to do those secondary tasks of the Yonko commander. That was what I brought up with the point of Katakuri, is that there are multiple tasks that fall upon the first commander in essence. It's not just protect the crew. It's not just defend the captain. It's not just any one thing. It's multiple things. And to be able to fill all of the roles in any one given instance, we have yet to see a first commander perform in that. And I'm saying that because we haven't seen much of Rayleigh as a first commander, but I'm pretty sure he did that because he wouldn't really have to defend Roger, but he would always stand next to Roger no matter what decision he would make. So that is his way of defending the captain. Is if anybody were to speak out against what Roger wanted, we know that Rayleigh would be there to be like, hey, why are you saying that we shouldn't go do this if the captain just said we're going to go do this?
Yeah, and I think Buggy is a big sentiment that really was very attached. Think about it. He was always proud of being a Roger pirate, but when he heard about Rayleigh, he was like a proud son talking about his father. So I could see Rayleigh being in that regard, like, very endearing towards the crew members as well, not just, the strong force.
Yeah.
And obviously, Roger being the father that only is there for happy hour.
That's so bad.
I mean, every time you see Roger, he was just here to party. It was very funny. But yeah, so yeah. So where are we next after this one? Wait, who was it? That was Josh. I said Katakuri.
I thought you said Katakuri.
No, it was Josh. Yeah, I think it's either you or Lucas.
I think that means it's back to me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you only gave 2. We all gave 3. You gave 2 actually. So it's up to you now.
That confused me. But so I.
What do you guys do? It's my turn. I'm joking. It's Dill's turn.
I'm gonna have to get this one out of the way because it was brought up in the chat, and we all were waiting to cook on him because he just is that level of an influential first commander. Is Win Weckman, because this dude, we've only seen very few comparisons between the first commander and the captain. In a sense of they are equals. Only through their judgment and their processes do we see the differences, but the similarities are brought out because of those differences. Like we have Luffy and Zoro who have opposing ideals and beliefs, but that's what brings them closer together is because they're able to elaborate on those. Roger and Rayleigh, we don't know, but we can assume if Roger is the happy-go-lucky running about causing mayhem wherever he goes, Rayleigh's the calm, cool, collected, take a moment to think about your actions before you do them. We have direct in a SBS, pretty sure, either SBS or Viva Card, one of the two, where they compared Shanks and Bim Beckman to the moon and the sun as they are the absolute points of this crew. They go
Shanks,
off of one another. They don't contradict each other. They bounce off of each other, and they use each other as their source.
Exactly. And when Shanks announced that they were going for the One Piece, he didn't announce to the whole crew. Who did he address specifically?
Ben Beckman.
Hey, Beckman.
I
think it's time we go get it.
The One Piece.
The One Piece. Like, Ben Beckman is definitely up there. I think, too, Oda in an SBS again, Oda confirmed that Ben Beckman has a very high intelligence, so it makes sense that Shanks would want someone with a who's good at logistical thinking and planning and stuff like that as his right-hand man, especially since he knew of the One Piece and he knew how to get the One Piece from his adventures with Roger. So he wanted someone there who he could bounce that idea off of, like lying in wait and waiting for the right exact moment to go get it. And I think Ben was the perfect person for that plan.
I'll say this: Ben Beckman is one of those interesting. He's the most interesting character of the of the Red Hair Pirates. You figure, even his name, like you think about it, feels like it's based off something.
Yeah,
such a Beckman of the thing. Like all of them have a certain theme to it. Like it feels like he's making a reference to something or someone in the story. Ben Beckman, and then he's like what is he? He's in his 50s while Shanks is in his 39. Like he's very interesting. It feels like he had an experienced life even before he met Shanks.
And yeah, also Shanks. Yeah, Beckman wasn't the first one to join the Red Hair Pirates. It was Yasop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Wait, why is that interesting?
Yeah, because most of the crews, come with the first guy to join is the first main, but in the Red Hair Pirates, it's different.
Rayleigh was the first one. Zoro was the first one. I mean, like, it's in a lot of the situations that we see in stories. Beppo and Law basically became friends together in the Law story before he became friends with the other ones.
Yeah.
Which is interesting that, in his, for Shanks, he chose someone who wasn't there for at least day one. It could also be that Beckman, he met him the next day as well. It could also be that, but it's just interesting that for Shanks, he's one of the few who has someone we know he didn't meet him first.
Yeah, to me, that just likens to the fact of Shanks acknowledging, hey, this dude is my opposite, but he's someone that can keep me grounded.
Exactly. It's the Zoro to his Luffy.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, this has been my take the entire time of reading through One Piece, and if you disagree with me, well, it sucks to say, but you're just wrong, is the first mate is there for the captain. The vice captain is there for the crew to relay what the captain gives out.
Well, with Zoro, too, I mean, it even furthers it in the live action. And I know I bring that up a lot, but it's because, like, Oda had his hands in that shit. He knew exactly what was going on there. You know what I mean? And Nami straight says to Zoro, shouldn't you go talk to him? You're his first mate. Like, that is a position, like Dill just said, that takes care of the captain. And Zoro is now calling Luffy his best friend, as we see in Wano. Like, he is there for Luffy. Does he love the crew? Yes, he does, but he's there for Luffy. Just like Ben Beckman is there for Shanks. Hey, Beckman, let's go for it.
And to harken back on Zoro real quick, It wasn't Zoro calling out the crew at Water 7. It was Zoro calling out Luffy to say, hey, a captain's judgment can't be wishy-washy. It has to be firm. You have to stand by your decisions after you make them, even though you may not like the repercussions of those actions. You still have to own up to what you've done because you are the captain. That's the importance of your role. If you go up on a pedestal and say, hey, this is what we're doing, and then you don't do that, the crew sees that and they see, hey, even the captain goes back on what he said, so why should we follow his orders?
Exactly.
That's why Zoro stepped up to tell him, hey, you have to be firm with your judgments.
And I think that's, like, I know this is very off topic, but I think that's why the Rock's crew probably fell apart, is because their captain was wishy-washy. Like, he was decisive when he wanted to be decisive, but other than that, he wasn't afraid to run away. He wasn't afraid, you know what I mean? Like, but
I mean, it's all. Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
No, you go ahead. I was basically done.
I was just gonna say. I also gonna say I think that my thing is also the Rock's Pirates is this thing where I've been saying it many times. There's no same group that has the same initials, but the only ones who are very close is the Revolution Army, and we saw that image of Quebec similar to Dragon. So I've always wondered if instead, and it does seem that flashback, they were not a pirate crew; they were an alliance of different pirate crews, just like Whitebeard and Marineford. And this would make sense, you know.
Just like Blackbeard as well.
The is that Cross Guild is an alliance, just like the Rock's Pirates were. And what we learned from Whitebeard during the Odin flashback is he didn't want a crew full of conquerors because you can't rein in a conqueror, which lends credence to the fact that Ace, even though Whitebeard told him not to go after Blackbeard, he still went because you can't rein in a conqueror.
Spit, baby, spit.
And that's why I think the parallel between Luffy and Zoro is so full and complete, is because it's not Luffy trying to rein in a conqueror in Zoro. He lets him do what he wants. But Zoro on that same motion is not going to directly oppose Luffy's order because he respects him as the captain, not just as the person. He respects him still as the person.
It goes back to that King and Zoro fight. He gave aside that side of his conquerors for Luffy. That is not for him to conquer. It is to help Luffy conquer.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we keep going back to Zoro. I feel like we're gonna end up putting Zoro at top 1, guys. I can just feel it already.
That's why I said earlier, like in terms of potential, I would put him at the first spot. But in terms of what we've seen throughout the story, we can't, just because we haven't got a moment where something that Luffy commands is against what Zoro wants. But we got that in their first introduction. Zoro told Luffy, if you get in the way of me accomplishing my dream, I will cut you down where you stand.
Yeah. And I guess that's why I said at the beginning. I think that's why Zoro should have the rank 0, because there's over 1,000 information. I'll say this: you can put, if we have everything on every character, just like one chapter each time for each character, just of them. Even with that, with every first commanders, we'll still put Zoro number 1 because there's too much information, too much nostalgia, too much connection to him. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with the cooks.
Zoro, the reason, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but like we feel like we know Zoro, but with these other characters, and while we do know them, we still don't know enough about them to feel that kindred spirit connection like we do with Zoro. So I think you're right. I think we need to place him at number 0. Who's next? By the way,
It's you.
It's me. You. Who haven't we mentioned now, boys? Like,
we haven't mentioned the rain guy. We haven't mentioned
the rain guy is crazy.
Yeah, because I didn't want to say his name in case you wanted to build up the hype for him. We haven't covered Kamazo. We haven't covered
Kinemon.
Ooh. Foxfire Kinemon though, like,
Yeah.
is he? Would we consider him a first commander? Yeah, he was Odin's
Yeah.
right hand man and stuff like that, but they weren't like. He wasn't a commander on a crew. That said, though, he did achieve his goal, and his loyalty was undying, so that would put him pretty high on the list.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I have to say, so sorry because I'm gonna have to curse. Shiro cannot be named as a first commander because he's the bitch commander after what he did in Hashinosu.
Hey, hold on, because it was a strategy. Because of his devil fruit, he used it to his advantage. That's all I'm gonna say.
You ain't wrong. But I don't like it, but you ain't wrong.
I mean,
It's like having 4 aces in your hand, and you don't play any of them. Why?
Listen,
It's you just nerfing yourself at that point. Like you have this devil fruit. Why would you not use it?
Oh no, dude, it's not this. It's when even Garb said it. He purposely attacked Kube, so I would have to put myself in the blade. That's why I'm saying that. It's not the use invisible fruit. It's using a tactic to make sure, like, instead of like trying to see that if you're truly that powerful.
Yeah, his knowledge.
Hold on, before we cook on
Shiryu.
Before we cook on Shiryu and the ethics of his bitch ass attack, I'm gonna bring up Killer. Now,
we're talking about real first commander. I'm just kidding, guys.
I know, but his loyalty is there. But his loyalty was there. He had a smile for his captain. Even though he hated his laugh and he knew he could be cursed to laugh forever, he ate that shit. Like, that loyalty is there. When Shanks attacked Kid, he dove in front of the attack. Yeah, that's a true first commander.
That's respectable.
He has followed Kid since he was a child. Go ahead, Josh. Yeah, spit.
Yeah, also in the fight with Hawkins, Hawkins. Shit, his name escapes my mind. No, it was Hawkins.
Killer Hawkins.
Yeah. He knew his captain so good. Like, he knew where to attack, where he doesn't damage you. Like, that whole scene with him chopping you the arm off.
Yeah.
And also him trying to the rest of the fight just trying to came up with an idea how to escape, try to get out of this situation because he was hurting his own friend.
Yeah. He's very tactical minded. He's the opposite of Kid. He's the Zoro to Kid's Luffy. Like, he's a good first mate or first commander. Like, if they were a Yonko crew. Go ahead, Cube.
Okay, I'm gonna bring it up. So we spoke about other first commanders like Beppo, who's a great first commander. Another thing that points to Killer, only Zoro and Killer were the only non-captain of the supernova who were supernovas.
This is true.
Yeah. Like, we talked about loyalty.
There's level of respect.
Yeah, there's feats as well. There's not just loyalty, there's also feats.
Exactly. He's on the same level as Zoro was when they got this Sabayori. Like, they were on equal footing there. Do I think that Zoro at some point surpassed Killer? 100%. That said, though, Zoro and Killer...
Zoro and Luffy are on land. Kid and Killer are underwater.
Big facts. But no, Zoro and Killer both waged war against Kaido on Roof Piece. Like, they were not letting up. So I have a lot of respect for Killer. I don't know where exactly I would place him, but the respect is there. Mm-hmm. Especially as like a first mate, first commander.
We mentioned the nothing happened moment earlier with Zoro in terms of that. We didn't even bring up the fact of Zoro stepping up to Kaido and saying essentially the same thing that he said to Kuma of, hey, if you want my captain's head, you're going to have to take mine first.
Yeah,
that's what he said to Kuma. Hey, if you want Luffy to take to the world government, you got to take me first. I'm going to be much bigger than him in a little bit.
Exactly. At this point, Lucas and Dill, at this point, this is a mental illness, guys. You guys keep going back to Zoro. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
It's because we love him, okay?
What's the definition of insanity?
Exactly.
I'm expecting y'all to understand my side, even though I know that y'all won't.
I see the vision. You've converted me.
Welcome.
So where are we putting Killer Boys?
It's a tough one. I want to put higher, but it's there's so much.
Yeah, I say
people
below
have
King,
better-
like right below King.
Yeah, maybe I agree. Because he
I
has
could
less
justify
feats and less.
putting him underwater.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. We don't know what if he's alive or dead right now. And if he was the one, I think Kid will survive, but if someone does die from that attack, it'll be Killer because he jumped right in front of that thing.
And I do feel like, and I'll say this, even if people won't like it, I do feel like, even though the relationship between Killer and contrary to Beppo and Law, it makes the loyalty towards Beppo so much bigger to Law. It's the opposite with Killer and Kid. It's Kid's loyalty towards Killer, someone who has shown almost no empathy towards other people, and literally was in tears in Wano, just escaped to find Killer.
Yeah.
Did not even care if he survived. He just wanted to make sure that his friend was still alive. And he was so upset on what they made him do. Take those smile. Him who hated his laugh. Like he was that. And people say that this is the reason why I say that he managed to get with Law the dub against Big Mom and not against Shanks. Because when he was fighting in Wano, he was fighting for the honor of Killer as well. What he did to his friend.
Yeah.
And at Elbaf, he wasn't. It was all about his own ego.
Yeah, it was about his own hubris. He was facing Shanks to get revenge because Beckman took his arm. Which makes me think, how did Beckman take his arm? Did he hit it with the butt of his gun so hard it exploded? I needed an answer to that. Then Beckman flicked his cigarette butt at him, coated with hockey, and it sliced through his arm.
I mean, dude, we've seen it with Delford with hockey. Some hockey thing can get sharp. What can tell you that he think about this? We've seen certain abilities. Think about Rakyaku, the Cypher Pull technique. It's just moving your kick rapidly, but it was a great air slash. It could be as simple as he found. And I'll still say that I did like a long time ago that theory saying that Khalifa's father and Beckman look very similar. Extremely similar when you put them side by side. So I do feel like it could be something similar to that. I'm not saying he's Cypher Pull. I'm just saying that it could have been him just moving his rifle so fast and long distance that he created air wave and just cut off his arm.
That's insane, dude.
I mean, he was compared in the Viva card that they was talking before it was Viva card, where he said intelligence-wise, he was the highest in East Blue at the time IQ with all the other ones, and he named the other ones. I think Kuro was number 2 at the time. And
Nami was number 2. Kuro was after her.
Kuro was number 3.
Okay. Kuro's number 3. Okay, thanks for clearing that up. But the one thing I'll say with this is he has also stated it's similar to Luffy and Zoro, where Beckman is almost very similar in physical feats as Shanks.
Yeah,
very close. They're very close.
I think so as well.
So I think what Shanks did to Kid, it wouldn't shock me that Beckman have that level of hockey that he's able to cut off someone's arm with a rifle.
I can see it. I think we've solved it, boys. Didn't Beckman cut off Kid's arm with a fucking rifle?
Imagine, you guys ever played Call of Duty Black Ops 2 with the zombies form? The zombie one? Okay, you know that shotgun you get and you could just shoot at a zombie and you just rip off a part of their body?
Yeah.
What if he shot a rifle and the bullets moved so fast that it literally removed his arm? Hail of bullets on his arm. Like he tries to block it and just suddenly he has no arm.
We're bringing back D&D again. He fanned the hammer.
I mean, outside of that, he could have used. So we have been Beckman on this level. What are y'all's thoughts on him using Conqueror's coding as well as Rio in his shot against Kid?
I mean, potentially. I could definitely see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which could have the impact of it being not able to actually contact, but all of that energy getting transferred into Kid's arm could have been enough to fully separate it. Because it would just, as soon as it would hit,
it would cancel his devil fruit as well.
Yep. All that energy would just transfer out and just shatter it to where it just cut cleanly.
Yeah.
So, Killer Killer is below who did I say? King?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kube, you're next.
Okay. So listen, this is completely a fan service one, but they're characters that exist, it's not the AD characters. We just don't know if they're connected, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go with the first mate of Nika, Ryuma.
That's not no, bro. What?
Nah.
Just kidding. Yeah, I have no proof that he is the first mate. So no, honestly, I was thinking about first mate, and if that's the case, and someone brought what's called. No, you know what? Someone go forward. I'm trying to think. I have some candidates, but I want to be sure I don't speak out of my mouth.
What?
Well, you can go.
Oh
ahead
no!
and
I
spit on
found
the
it.
man
I
that you
found.
called-
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say you could spit on the man that you called the bitch commander.
You know what? Yes. You know what? I'll explain why it angers me so much in the story. Right? They've been hyping up. You know, Blackbeard being this great rival, like for Shanks and Luffy, all of those stuff, right? And I said, okay, he has Invisible Fruit Cheerio. We're hitting out this great battle with Zoro at one point, or Mihawk. Okay, makes sense, cool. And I'll say this: the thing that really bothered me, and I'll say this, is that as a first mate or vice captain, no problem. But as a first commander, what we see with first commander, I'm just saying, for me, it's a big negative. Like, if he would have been smart about it, but when it was said that, oh no, he purposely did that so he was sure to strike me, I said, dude, you don't even trust your own feats, your own power. Like, you don't believe in your own hockey. That's why he's the best commander. The Zoro will go against him. He won't try those cheap tricks. Zoro will go through that. He's going to cut through him faster than Kinky did. That's my thing. Is that as a first commander, that is like the least first commander of all. He does not believe at his own. Like, if you truly believe yourself, go against Garp fully. Or at least go against Kobe. But don't do the trickery where I'm going invisible, I'm going after Kobe. Oh no, the whole plan was actually to go through Garp. That was the only way I can do it.
Yeah, but we know he's a psychopath. We know he's a psychopath because of what he used to do to criminals and Impel Down. Like, so it's completely within realm of reason.
Warden status.
Exactly. So it's completely within reason that a psychopath would see that tactic and be like, this is acceptable in a fight. The only thing I have in question is his loyalty to Blackbeard. Yeah, he's following the man, but is he really following him? You know what I mean? Like Blackbeard said, they're not really a pirate crew. They're just a bunch of people whose goals seem to align a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna tell you this. I wouldn't be shocked that Blackbeard survives his fight and he's on the shore of the water, and then Shiro just arrives and just pushes him in the water and lets him sink. I wouldn't be shocked that he might be the one
honestly
to kill Blackbeard at the end, to betray him, because I think the original Blackbeard was betrayed by his own crew members, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so as well.
Mean, that's something that's been set up since the Impel Down stuff. Is these people are all of this caliber of being level 6 Impel Down prisoners. And we have Whitebeard talking about Buggy after escaping from Impel Down of Buggy's not the threat, but it's the prisoners that he has behind him. It is the exact same thing with Blackbeard, but now Blackbeard is more so of a threat in his own right. It's their allegiance to Blackbeard stems from the fact that they have the common goal. So what happens when that person fails to achieve that common goal? They get tossed to the side like it's nothing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Big facts.
I mean, I always made that analogy because I do like the Disney Lion King themes on how they talk about it. Could be very similar loosely to One Piece. Kind of makes me think of the whole Scar thing, willing to make all the stuff with the hyenas, but when he lost all his prestige, they were willing to eat their friend.
Yep.
With no ease.
Exactly.
They were just what did he promise? Make me king and I'll do all of that for you. While Luffy's doing the opposite. And I've always wondered if that could be very similar with Blackbeard. They have ambition, but Blackbeard made them believe if I don't become this, you won't achieve it. Luffy says, I need to go there, but I'm gonna help you reach your dream, because if I can help you reach your dream, then it means I can reach my dream as well. He does not forces them that his dream has to be done before theirs. And I think Blackbeard has made it. We don't know yet, but it could be the big hint. And I could see them betraying him. When he fails, what happens? Well, you didn't promise us, so now we're gonna take care of you. We wasted years with you. I can see it, you know.
Yeah, I can see
using his dream.
I like your relation to Scar and the hyenas because Scar had specifically promised them that whenever he became king, they would no longer have to eat off the scraps of the real world. So they would be in the forefront, being able to attain what they wanted because of him becoming king. As soon as he failed that, they said, well, we have enough to eat now because we'll just eat you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Said, you got in our way of us completing our goal. You failed at completing your goal, so we're still going to complete our goal because you failed yours.
And then Simba banged his cousin. The end.
Hey, Josh, you got your next pick?
Why are you trying to change the subject? Tell me I'm wrong. Why are you trying to change the subject?
Josh?
I'm saying Lucas says to can elaborate on that.
No. So I can only server mute him. That doesn't mute him on stream. That's the problem. So I just need you to spit on your take.
Now listen, Nala is Simba's cousin because in a pride, right? Only one lion mates with all the females. So that means that Mufasa is also Nala's father.
No, but dude, that makes them siblings.
Yeah.
That makes them siblings, not cousins.
Yeah, that makes them cousins and siblings. You're right. This is getting way too Kentucky for my liking.
Just take the Derby. Just take the Derby, man.
To our viewers to any viewers that happen to be in Kentucky, I promise I don't actually believe that about you guys. I promise.
Yeah, he would have said Alabama, but no further elaboration.
No further elaboration. Yeah. So yeah, Josh, we lost the plot here. We did, man. I went off on a tangent about Lion King. I'm sorry.
I was just about to bring up Gross Talk's comment too, Lucas.
We were on track, and I went off on a tangent. Sorry, Josh. Yeah, go ahead. You are the last pick of the stream, so hit us hard.
Also, keeping the best for last. The man who was the right man of the brother of the future Pirate King. The man who also ate part of the Mera. The Master Deuce, the right hand man of Ace.
Who?
Master Deuce.
Yeah.
Who?
You know who he is.
Hey, I'm just saying that he hasn't appeared in any of the One Piece chapters.
Actually,
he was.
And Oda said that even though it wasn't really a canon story, they've taken all the canon points he given, so we should take that as this is Ace's story before he was in the Whitebeard Pirates.
Hey, I agree with the sentiment, but this is the best first commander in One Piece, not in all of the One Piece side stories included.
This is still the One Piece.
Yeah, this is still One Piece. I'm pretty sure also that he's in the anime when Ace fights Blackbeard or Whitebeard. When he first gets captured on Whitebeard, I'm almost like 100% positive he's in the anime.
He's in the flashback. He's in the flashback.
All right, so y'all are gonna defend this man for one episode of a flashback. Dude, the best first commander when we didn't see him do anything first commander like.
Dude,
I trolling this entire time.
Yeah, I know. No, don't worry, I'm gonna keep on the trolling. I have to censor Kabaji with Lucas. Masters, no problem.
I mean, at least we saw stuff from Kabaji being a first commander, you know?
Yeah, but Masters ate the fruit with Ace. Like that's brother loyal shit right there.
And his whole thing at the end.
Yeah, also the part at the end that after Ace's death, he wanted to tell the story of Luffy and Sabo.
Yeah.
Like also, while he was with Ace, he wrote his entire story.
Yeah, and he wanted to give it. And he doesn't know he didn't know about Sabo, but the last thing, and that's actually canon. That's a part of a thing. Mazus is looking for Luffy because it's after the Marineford War, after Ace's death. And he talks about when he leaves the Whitebeard Pirates, he says, I'm just going to wait until I can meet Ace's brother so I can tell him his brother's full story so he knows what kind of person he was.
Yep.
He deserves to know, which is, for me, great feats as a first commander.
And yeah, he also might appear in the story soon as the memoir frames that, but
Yeah,
that's
I was
another
gonna
story
say,
for
yeah,
another day.
that's a very popular theory right now. So I think it is kind of viable to bring up here. Is that like there's a lot of people who believe Mass Deuce will be the man marked by flames, carrying on Ace's will, or at least his tale to tell Luffy. So that's a good first mate, in my opinion, or a good first commander.
I mean, that doesn't counter my point of him being a first commander in One Piece.
Hi, 3-Day.
Oh man!
We love you.
Oh my god! It's a bit. You know, just say it's always a free day when 3-Day's here.
Exactly. It is always a great day. All right, guys. So we are going to be winding down the stream in the next 9 minutes. So let's make the stand now. Who's top one in the verse?
I mean, if you take out Zoro, it's rating right now. If you take out Zoro, it's rating. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would argue Marco though. We saw all of the ways that Marco was loyal to his captain. We still have yet to see all of the ways that Rayleigh was loyal to his captain.
The last thing Roger wanted Joy Boy to succeed. Rayleigh made sure that Luffy. Remember, Luffy was willing to go back. Rayleigh's the one who told him to wait, because he knows the importance of it. Even though I do think Marco, without Rayleigh, even Marco's help wouldn't be possible because Luffy would be out by now. Like we all know, but by Dressrosa, it would have been over for him.
Yeah.
I think only Rayleigh could have taken out of him. He was a perfect teacher for Luffy because how similar he was to Roger. He knew how to maximize his potential.
Yeah, but
Marco
is also carrying on his dead captain's will as well.
Yeah, but think about the story. We're waiting for the story of Joy Boy to return. It's all about Luffy become Pirate King. If you take it out in the story, like in the story One Piece, who's the best first mate? It's Rayleigh. Because not only is he loyal to his captain, he's actually helping the story to move forward much more than Marco.
NoChillDill, what do you guys say? Who do you think's top one? We're excluding Zoro because we all want to vote Zoro right now.
Zoro's number one.
Yeah, Zoro's number one.
That's what I was asking. Potential, or from what we've seen in One Piece canon?
What we've seen in One Piece canon. Hit me with the top one.
I can give you the top three.
Oh, hit me with them.
Rayleigh 1, Katakuri 2, King 3.
Nah, Marco's above King and Katakuri in my opinion.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to loyalty to their captain. Like, I know King's loyalty is toxic.
Based off of that. I wasn't judging just based off that. You gotta remember the fact that Marco decided to take the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates, which is his crew effectively at that point, to go challenge Blackbeard, all for the honor of restoring Whitebeard's name. Sacrificing his crew's safety to go chase after something that was already gone.
Yeah, they paid that for it. Any rational man would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
That goes with saying that he disregarded the crew's safety. He knew that most of them could die going up against Blackbeard, who now had 2 devil fruits, as well as a metric shit ton of impel down prisoners underneath him. He disregarded the crew's safety to go fight for Whitebeard's honor. Yes, he was still defending his captain. You disregard the safety of your crew to do that.
It was a crew thing, and I'll say this. It was a fight between Blackbeard and the commanders of the Whitebeard Pirates. Like, I do agree. I see what you mean by that, but I'm saying, like, it's not like he took the Chopper and the Nami of the crew. He forced them to go there. Like, they were all so upset.
And all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, like he took like the real powerful one as well. You know, like from the 10 or 16 that were with them, the 10 of them who were fighting Blackbeard, because Blackbeard took them out all by himself, if I remember correctly. Yeah. It was not like all the stranglers. It was literally the high-ranking ones.
All right, so let's put it how it is, Kube. He took the senior officers of the Whitebeard Pirates. You know what the Straw Hat Pirates got labeled as leaving Wano? The Yonko Straw Hat Luffy and his 9 senior officers.
Yeah, but it's also a crew that's at the end of their, you know what I mean? Like it's the Straw Hats
Correct.
after 20, 30 years of adventures. That's what I'm saying.
Correct.
So-
But they are still senior officers, and Marco took those senior officers to their deaths.
Yeah, but even for that logic, I'm gonna say this. I do agree. I'll say this. The ranking rating number 1, Marco and Karakuri for sure. I think because of King's antics, even though he was there for Kaido, because of his negative with the crew, I cannot put him in top 3. Karakuri definitely. And I want to put Sabo, but I do agree that they're still missing some stuff with Sabo. He should be in the top 2 right now. Top 5 for sure, but not in top 3. Karakuri has shown more props to the crew, what he's willing to do.
I don't think King cracks the top 5 even, just because of his tendency to kill his crew and things like that. And I think,
and don't forget, he was more feared. He was more feared by everyone. Everyone in Wano feared more Kings than Queen. Even the prisoners from the Wano, and even the crew members. Yeah, he was cruel. He was cruel to be brutally cruel. Queen was the one that people had fun in the crew. They were doing concerts with him. There was some. Yeah.
Oh fuck!
So that's how I.
Frankie's dad. Look at that song. That's Frankie's dad, bro. No.
but Katakuri for me is definitely on the top 3, because when we saw that flashback, and I think that's the problem with King. His flashback was so just about Kaido, and Katakuri's flashback is literally because of my actions. Even though dude, it's not your fault. They were assholes. They made a joke at you. Then you defended yourself, and then they went after a defensive child. It's not on you. But he took that, and for the next 30 years, don't know how many years, he never left because he wanted to make sure everyone was safe. Compared to King, that's a whole different level of loyalty to his people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I put Katakuri at 2 and King at 3.
It don't feel right. Josh?
I know it doesn't. It doesn't feel right because I have.
Because it's not right. I agree.
No. It may not seem right because I said that King is at 3 because of him having the defense for his captain, whereas a juxtaposition, he didn't have the defense for the crew. It's the same thing for Marco, but the reason I didn't name Marco is because Marco's in the 4th slot, not the 3rd.
See, but I think Sabo's above King as well. Like, because Sabo not only cares about his crew, but the people outside of his crew and his commanding officer. Josh, before we wrap up stream, what is your top picks?
Yeah, for me the top 2 picks are Rayleigh and Marco. Like they're interchangeable.
Solid picks. I agree with both. I don't know. I just can't get behind King being up there just because of like how he is as a person. Like I think his loyalty is unmatched. Actually, like I think he has the most loyalty out of any first commander captain. And maybe against Zoro. I think Zoro obviously.
It's commander.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna wrap up stream, guys. I have been Straw Hat Lucas. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm gonna let the boys say goodbye. Let's start with Josh. Josh, tell the people what you got going on.
I mean, I'm pretty much here almost every stream. I always work in the Discord, and you can find me almost every other Wednesday on Lucas's channel on Group 14.
Yeah, Group 14. Mikey's been mutilated. Dill, what about you? What do you got going on?
So this Saturday we have Group 3 clears. In our next session of the Hagen Coronation, where we are there to take out the Hagen family and to stop the Dares from furthering their influence throughout the world.
What did the dog say?
What the dog doing?
No, it was a joke. Haagen-Dazs, that was a joke. Ice cream Haagen-Dazs. You said Haagen.
Oh, okay.
So,
So we are there to stop the Hagen coronation from being able to be completed. We are there to take out the made men, for lack of a better term, because there's women there as well, from being able to complete their goal. And we are there to clear out all of the threats to
They're about to
people.
commit a genocide, is what I'm hearing. Okay, Israel. No.
Regicide. So you can check us out on vexyz the Lurking Legend channel for Group 2 solos at 8 p.m. EST on Tuesday. We will be back in action. And then you can check me out here next Wednesday for another stream.
And
As
Saturday.
well as Saturday.
Yeah. And last but not least, Cube, what do you got going on, brother?
what's up, guys? As you know, we're working on some stuff. Nothing Happened podcast, and just keep posted. It'll be great when it'll come out. Also, I have some great announcement. I am the new co-host on the Side Look. No, I'm just kidding. No, but honestly, guys, we're working on some fun stuff. As you could sense, we're doing some interesting theme art streams. This is just the first of many. We might do soon an announcement of some of the future ones, and even we might start some community posts or stuff like that to see what you guys think about this idea of those streams. Get you more involved. But yeah, other than that, and I'm gonna pass the baton out to our captain to tell us where we can find the captain.
Yeah,
Lucas, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me here, obviously, every Wednesday and Saturday. I'm on most streams here. But like you said, guys, the community is the most important aspect of this channel to us. Everybody in the Discord, everybody here in the chat, you guys are what make this channel go round. So, of course, look forward to some community posts. We're planning some watch parties in the server as well for everybody. So make sure you click the link below, get in the Discord. Like I said earlier, you can find me on the Straw Hat Lucas YouTube channel. I just dropped a spicy video going over all the new castings we got for the One Piece live action season 2 for Rambling Addiction. So let's go. You can find me on Tuesdays at 8 for Group 2 D&D Scarlet Pirates. Let's go. Group 2 solos. And Thursdays, usually once or twice a month on my channel for Group 14, the Sakura Pirates. We also mutilate, is from what I hear. But yeah, thank everybody for coming to the stream. And Cube, what is it you always say?
We'll see you all at the next sunrise.
I ended it perfectly after that. Let's go!